Hello world, it's Brandon Renas here again, and I'm going to try to look at Hillary Clinton's speech from a non-biased or at least an open-minded, hey I have morals, hey I have value perspective that I think most of us can agree on. And I'm not going to try to, twist it like a lot of the media would do. Obviously we all have our own biases, but I'm going to do my best to just look at it from a basic common sense principles, are you speaking reality type of mindset. I listened to the entire speech today while working away and had to write down some notes to go over. So this will be the first video I've done where I actually look at notes, and I'm not going to be reading them as in, reading this whole thing word for word, but I will be going over them so that way I'm not missing particular things. I apologize, my shirt is all wrinkled and nasty. I just got in from working and I was all sweaty and nasty and decided to put on something clean, and it's all wrinkled, so you're going to have to get over it hopefully. Alright, so she started off by explaining how the economy needs to work and how everybody needs to make money and everybody needs to be able to make a living wage and all this jazz, and she explained how she can't do it all herself, and the big difference between her and Trump is that Trump brags about how he can fix everything himself. Just give it to Trump and he's going to fix it all himself. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this and that. And she specifically said that, hey, the government is not about one person being able to do all these things. This takes teamwork, and this takes more than one person. She can't do it all herself. And I thought it was actually a really good point. I'm not a Hillary fan at all, but she really did, the president doesn't have that kind of power. He doesn't. And so it's kind of campaign promises. Now granted, they both do it, but she did an excellent job pointing out how these are her goals for the economy, and she's not looking at it from a Trump perspective. I was impressed from that angle of things. She then goes from there and talks about how the Founding Fathers didn't believe that a president should have that kind of power, and that that there was different branches of government, so that way the president doesn't have all the power, House doesn't have all the power, Senate doesn't have all the power, and that's the whole point of the whole thing. And that's true, but those same Founding Fathers, they also didn't want anybody to be above the law. And Hillary Clinton is above the law. She's the only person that I know of, and please challenge me and prove me wrong, that I know of that has lied and mishandled classified information that is not in prison or has not gone to prison. She has lied about it and mishandled classified information. That is the absolute best case scenario. And she's running for president. She didn't go to prison. She's running for president. The other P word, president, prison, president, prison. They're not really similar. So she did seem to mention that. She seems to kind of gone and missed that one a little bit. Then she gets into really stretching it as far as I'm concerned. She talks about how great our economy is. And maybe it is for some of you guys. If it is, awesome, I'm happy for you. But her examples of how great our economy were go as follows. She points out the auto sector solid, we have record sales, private job creation, and record amount of people with insurance, or a lot more people with insurance this year than last year. So I want to break these down real quick. Private jobs. Obamacare went into action, which forces employers to pretty much downsize, or not downsize, but to now hire people part-time instead of full-time. This helps the job creation numbers big time, because now people have 2 or 3 jobs each. They're working 2 or 3 part-time jobs because the employer can't afford to pay Obamacare and all these other insane things, so he hires everyone part-time. Excellent for job creation, but it's not good jobs. It's not helping the economy. All it does is help the statistics on jobs created. It doesn't help wealth. It doesn't help the average person. In fact, the wages have held steady or gone down in pretty much throughout all the United States. Then she brags about the auto industry. Oh, it's so great. So remember that program, Cash for Clunkers? So it's a government-induced program that allows people to get rid of their hunk of junk and buy a brand new vehicle with government dollars. In other words, the government forcefully takes money from me and hands it to somebody else who wants to buy a car. And this has actually created a bubble. We now have a bunch of people who own vehicles that they can't afford, and if this economy falls apart anymore, they're gonna go broke. Yay! But anyway, this is something that to her is a good sign. There's more people in brand new cars than ever before. Now, she doesn't mention that the workforce participation rate is lower now than at any other time since women have entered the workforce. Yeah. So in other words, our workforce participation, that's really low. People are not making that good of money, and they're forced, or I shouldn't say forced, but these federal programs are actually promoting people to make bad decisions with their money, buying cars, and because there's so many brand new cars being bought by people who can't afford them, we're doing great economically. This is her. Okay. I'm sorry, that's just skewing numbers. Then finally, insurance. Yes! Insurance proves that our economy is doing great. Well, if it was voluntary, that would be true. But no, it wasn't. What they did is they forced people to get insured. If you don't get insured, you get fined. If you don't pay the fine, you go to prison. So they put a gun to your head and they tell you, buy this insurance. If you don't buy this insurance, you go to prison or you get shot. Where I come from, you don't brag about how your numbers are doing when you're forcing people to do it. That is disgusting. When a thief breaks into a house and takes everything you've earned, he doesn't brag about, oh, guess what? I'm doing so much better than the average Joe out there. Come on, people. So this is her definition of a great economy, guys. This is her great mind and how she talks about our booming economy. She also points out that the reason our economy is not doing so hot is because democracy is not working properly. I don't really understand that. Democracy is not working properly? Well, let me go at this from a different perspective. Madam wannabe President Clinton. Did you know that our country was built as a republic? Yeah. So, in other words, the rights of the many can't be forced down the throat of the few. The majority cannot rule the minority. The tyranny of the majority cannot rule the minority. So, when you say democracy is not working right, does that mean you don't have enough Democrats in office? There's not enough rules and regulations because those are at an all-time high? What do you mean? I just don't get it. Anyway, this is for everyone that's been, promoting this. Oh, democracy, democracy, democracy. No, I'm sorry. We have a democratic republic. And a democratic republic means that we vote for people who are supposed to represent us in a republic way. A republic means that I, as a Christian, cannot force my Christian values on others. It means that you, as a Muslim, cannot force your Muslim views on me. It means that me, as a smoker, which I'm not, but I'm just saying, I cannot force my smoking ideas on you, and you cannot force your non-smoking ideas on me. Which, of course, we do all of these things right now in our country. But think of how much more peaceful we would all be and how much more our democracy would work if we actually didn't have everybody telling us what we can and can't do with our lives. Instead of us all being in little different groups of black groups, smoker groups, white groups, this group, that group, we could be actually Americans, and we'd be able to defend each other's rights to do what the heck we want with our own lives, as long as it didn't interfere with other people. And when I say interfere, I don't mean bother them because you're driving without a seat buckle. I mean interfere as in kill the person or injure the person. That would be interfering with somebody. All right, so let's keep going down the list here. She then goes on a rampage about Main Street and Wall Street and how big evil corporations are spending too much on politics. So horrible. Well, Citizens United was signed into law by President Bill Clinton, her husband. That was the start of this whole mess. Actually, it wasn't the start of this whole mess, but it was part of this whole mess that people mention. Now, her statement about Wall Street not representing Main Street, I don't think it really ever has, but that's just my opinion. She's complaining about how much money influences politics. Well, I hate to break it to you, honey, but you're the one that's owned by the big banks. You're the one that's owned by Wall Street. You're the one that's owned by the military-industrial complex. So am I supposed to believe that they've given you these tens and hundreds of millions of dollars because they're not going to get anything back? I'm sorry, I've seen your record. I am certain that they are giving you their money because they are certain that they will get their money back. And then some. In fact, right now, out of all the investments you can possibly do, there is no better return on your money than giving it to a politician to get special favors. I think it's like a 4,500% return, which is pretty solid where I come from. Most companies are usually fighting between 3 and 6% profit margin. These guys are getting 4,500%. Not bad. So yeah, the other issue with this is the fact that the issue is not money in politics, okay? The issue is government control of politics, or I'm sorry, of regulations and rules, the size of government, the power of government. So as a business owner myself, right now, I have the option of A, succeeding in the marketplace where I have to work my tail off to either have better products, cheaper services, cheaper goods, or a better services than my competition. And that is the only way I can succeed. If I do these things, I can somehow figure out to run a company more efficiently, and then I can succeed over my competition. This is incredibly difficult, and it constantly promotes better goods, better services, cheaper prices. So as a business owner, I go, hey, that's really tough. You know what's better for me? What's better for me is to go to a politician and tell them, hey, help regulate these guys out of my market because that makes it difficult for me. Give me special tax breaks so that way I don't have to be as efficient and I can still make record profits. As long as the government has the power to pick winners and losers, which to me is completely unconstitutional and definitely not a republic, because a republic would be treating everyone equally, we're going to have this problem. Why is the issue money in politics? No, the issue is power of government. As long as the government has that power, people are going to fight for that power. There is no way a sane businessman is going to not fight for that power, because if he doesn't fight for that power, somebody else will take that. He will pay off the politician, and then you will be the person that went out of business because you were running a proper business. You weren't paying off or bribing politicians, so you went bankrupt. This is the economy we have created, a government-ran and controlled economy. And this is precisely why so many people that are libertarians or free market thinkers or Austrian thinkers and Austrian economists all warned about the 2008 crash, all warned about the 2000 crash, because they understand how banks work. I also noticed that there were finally American flags at her speech. Yay! 4 days of convention, and the last day they finally get some American flags out there. Never saw any for the first 3 days. All of a sudden, after all the complaining, all the comments on the internet, they decide, hey, I guess the American flag is worth flying. Let's fly these little American flags. Not that little American flags are bad, but you get the point. Oh boy. Let's keep going down the list. See, she suggests joining her campaign if you believe in affordable health care. Now, this is coming from the lady that's been in politics for 30 years. The price has constantly gone up. The quality has constantly gone down. Our vets have been getting horrible care the entire time she's been in office, and it's only gotten worse the majority of the time while she's in office. And I'm supposed to trust that putting her into office is going to help the healthcare system. I would have to be insane, and I take pride in not being insane. So, sorry, Hillary, that just doesn't work for me. I try to use common sense, and looking at you and listening to you, it's a contradiction when it comes to trusting that you're going to help the healthcare system. Sorry. Oh, aren't you owned by big pharmacies? Oh, isn't that a conflict of interest? I wonder if they're going to support you fixing the system. I don't think so. No, probably not. Good grief. She now supports steel workers, better trade deals, and standing up to China. I apologize for shifting in my chair. She's sounding like Trump. Steel workers, better trade deals, and standing up to China? She must be getting destroyed by Trump. Like, there's no way she's going to start copycatting Donald Trump unless he's literally making such a huge dent on her voter base, or whatever you want to call it, on the independent vote, whatever it is that affects her, that she is desperately going, I'm going to start talking like Donald Trump. Guess what? A couple weeks from now, she'll be talking about building walls. Come on, people. Can't we stand up for what we believe? Oh, wait a minute. It's Hillary Clinton. She doesn't have anything she believes in. She just kind of changes according to what's going to get her the most votes. Don't believe me? Look at her record, okay? It's changed on practically every issue. In fact, I'm literally trying to think of an issue that she hasn't changed her opinion on. Maybe abortion. Maybe. I'm not even sure about that. She's all over the place. Ah, yes. So now she's going to explain how she's going to pay for all of her government programs and all of these things. Let's tax Wall Street more. Yes, they're such evil people. No more tax breaks. And then on top of that, we are going to fine people that are getting government help, and they fire their people or they move overseas. Ah, this is just the perfect politically correct thing to say. I'm going to get lots of voters. Nobody likes Wall Street. Nobody likes these big businesses. We're definitely going to get votes now. So let me explain something to you real quick. If you start taxing Wall Street more, we're going to go to other markets. I'm in the trading industry. I actually trade the market. And if you are going to make the prices astronomically expensive for me, guess where I'm going to go? To other countries. They all have stock markets also. And that means my money goes to other countries and they now get it. Yeah, that's what happens. So now there's less money in America and America's economy does even worse. Oh, what a great idea, Hillary Clinton. Let me get this right. So now you're going to attack other businesses also who leave the country. Well, there's no sane business that's going to leave our country unless it is profitable for him. So if it's profitable, it means we have such insane regulations, such insane rules, such insane red tape that they are leaving our country because it is worth paying all of those fees and fines that you're going to put on them. On top of that, that makes even less businesses want to come to America because they're going to get paid, or they're going to have to pay fees and fines if they decide that America is not worth staying in. If I'm a business and I want to expand in the United States and I'm thinking, hey, I better build another plant, and I hear about this, I go, you know what? I'm not going to expand in America. I'm going to expand in Mexico or some other country where they actually allow freedom instead of whatever. You get the point. More government, more control, less freedom for me, the business owner. Oh, man. So let's go to the end here. Her strongest point was attacking Donald Trump and his ego. She actually had a really solid point here. She comes after Donald Trump, and I thought it was the best part of her speech by far. She goes on and on about Donald Trump's ego, and he most definitely has one. And she talks about how he is this hothead who is so passionate and so sensitive that if you just bother him with a tweet, he could start a war. It's actually a really good point. I don't think it's quite that extreme, but you get the point. The only downside about that, Hillary Clinton, is you are Hillary Clinton, who has supported every single war, every single opportunity to go to war, and every single war on drugs that our country has been in since you've been in office. So I'm supposed to believe that Donald Trump is going to be worse for my country and put us in more war-type scenarios than you, who has never voted no against any war or any opportunity to go to war. Oh yeah, that's because the military-industrial complex gives you so much money. Oh, but now you're the peace candidate. I don't think so, Hillary Clinton. That doesn't work for me. That's just common sense. I always try to end my videos with uniting. And I don't want people to think I am just trying to bash on Hillary Clinton. I have done videos talking about Donald Trump. I have posts on my Facebook about Donald Trump and the negative things I see about him. My point is that Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, neither one of them would have a chance to make it as president if we as people voted our own morals and our principles. There's no way you can tell me that a person is supporting their morals and principles by voting for Hillary Clinton. No person who is logical, sane, or caring can do that. There's scumbags out there that will, but those type of people can't. And there's just not enough scumbags and losers out there to vote for Hillary Clinton's that believe that way. So there are a lot of people you're dropping your morals and your values in order to vote for somebody like that. And the same can be said for Donald Trump. You're not supposed to do that. Sorry, guys. Donald Trump, I feel, is the same way. I honestly think Donald Trump is the better person out of the two of them, but I'm not voting for him. He doesn't have my vote. I'm going for a Gary Johnson, who, again, is not anything I approve of, but at least he is a respectful human being. He's not an egotistical maniac. He's not a warmonger like Hillary Clinton. He doesn't lie to the FBI like Hillary Clinton. He is just normal. He's boring, but he's normal. And to me, we need to start uniting over just basic principles. We need to start recognizing that if we can talk to people in a regular tone of voice, a regular common sense thinking things through type of mindset, these people don't have a chance. Hillary Clinton cannot stand up to critical thinking in the least, like zero zippo zilch. The only way she can get support is through cheating elections, which she's obviously already done, and by chasing the sheep, which she's already done. Let's not be a sheep, people. Let's be a light to the world. Let's start waking up people. Let's start thinking things through as we look at either candidate, whether it's Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton. Let's recognize the problems. Let's ask questions when somebody says, hey, I'm going to not be quite the warmonger as Donald Trump. Let's actually think about that and go, well, is that possible? Can I believe that? Honestly, we all want what's best. We all want our country to do better. So the question is how to go about that. We all want to trust these people. But how can you trust them? I don't really have anything else to say. Let's just unite behind basic common sense, basic morality, and just thinking things through. That's all it takes. Thank you so much, everyone. That is my breakdown of Hillary Clinton. If you like this video, please smash the like button, give it a big old pound. If you want more videos like this where a person's honest and sincere and does not just go around BSing or promoting any one particular agenda other than sincerity and morality and just basic common sense, so subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye-bye.